Hi there. Hope you are really good today. Thank you for watching, and please do share this video with anybody that you feel that you think will benefit from watching. I had an email from Nicola and she asks, is there one thing that you can recommend to help with feeling better if you're not feeling so good? And one thing that I can think of that I could probably offer in a short video is really monitoring your self-talk, monitoring what's happening inside of your mind, inside of your head as you're going through your daily business, as you're going through your day and experiencing your daily activities. What is your self-talk? Self-talk is the internal dialogue, the chatter that happens. What is that saying? Are there good things that it's saying? Is it bad things that it's saying? And the first step is really to monitor that and to see whether the internal dialogue, the self-talk that you have is positive or negative. Now, people have this tendency to believe that we just have thoughts, they come from nowhere and we have no control over them. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You are in control of what you think, and it can be less easy to start changing that to start with, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. And the more you practice, the better you'll feel. When you start challenging the way that you speak to yourself inside, you will definitely start to see positive impacts on the way that you feel. The things that we say to ourselves, the way that we think about ourselves, have a direct influence on the way that we feel about ourselves. And we are in control of that internal dialogue. It may have become an automatic, it may have become very habitual and can be very negative. I remember the first time quite a few years ago when I actually first identified what my self-talk was, and it was very negative. And I was seeing a counsellor at the time, and one of her suggestions was to monitor the things that I was saying to myself and to really pay attention to that. And I remember my daughter was younger at the time, and we had a baby monitor, and she was asleep and I was in my bedroom, and I dropped the baby monitor on the floor by accident, and I called myself a stupid cow in my head. And it was just a silly little mistake or accident, no big deal. And there I was abusing and criticising myself for this small thing that had absolutely no consequence. But what I realised that it was bigger than that, because that was the way that I was speaking to myself on a daily basis. And the more I paid attention to it, the more I realised that that was my internal dialogue. My internal dialogue was very negative. And it took some effort and it took some work to challenge that and to change it. But the first step is monitoring it. Paying attention to the things that you're saying to yourself on a daily basis as you go through your day. And then doing something to change it. So challenge the things that you say to yourself. If they are negative, then challenge them. Is that really the case? Was that just a mistake? Was it just an accident? Do other people do it? Where's the evidence to prove that I'm such a bad person? And then what you can do is you can start to replace that negative self-talk with positive self-talk, reassuring yourself, self-soothing yourself, telling yourself that it's okay. And just, like being as if you're being a caring, loving, gentle parent to yourself. Many of us have experienced traumatic experiences during childhood, and that is generally where that negative self-talk comes from. When we've been programmed to be unkind to ourselves from a very early age, it just becomes second nature of doing it. And it's our job as adults then to start reprogramming that internal dialogue and reprogramming the way that we talk to ourselves, so that we get a much more positive experience, not only from the external world, but from the internal world as well. But it starts with us. We have to start taking responsibility for wanting to feel better. And when you do want to feel better, one of the things that you can focus on is your internal dialogue, on your self-talk, challenging it and then doing something positive to change that, saying kind things to yourself, reassuring yourself and reminding yourself of what an amazing human being you are. It takes work, but with work and practice, it really does help. And now my internal dialogue is really positive, and I say really kind and loving things to myself all the time, every single day. So it takes practice, but it's absolutely worth it. So that's one thing that you can do to help yourself feel better. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I will post another video again soon. Bye for now.